Hey guys, this is my car repair channel here. I got a 1999 Honda Civic, and if this video helps you out, please share it, especially with those that have a Honda Civic. Go ahead and get your Honda Civic owner's manual, and you're going to be looking for the spark plug gap and the torque wrench specifications. So the spark plug gap for this specific model is going to be 0.04 inches. And also there's another section that says torque the spark plug. If you do not have a torque wrench, which I'll show you how to do it without a torque wrench, tighten the spark plug 2/3 of a turn after it contacts the cylinder head. I'll go into more detail in this later on in the video. And over there, if you see the different type of NKGs and Denso spark plugs, just ask your local auto body shop what they would recommend. NKGs, I like NKGs because most of them come pre-gapped. Here I'm going to show you how to check the spacing if yours don't come pre-gapped. But you can see here the threads, and there's a little washer here just to kind of like a lock washer to keep the spark plug in place. Here's my gap measuring tool. You can see it goes from up around the 10 o'clock area all the way around to the 1 o'clock area on this tool. But we're looking at the 0.04 inch measurement. You can see that the tool starts to get thicker as you go around. So we're looking at 0.04. Now if you don't get a spark plug that's at 0.04, it's okay. You can gap it yourself by either getting a pair of pliers like I use, or there's actually gapping tools that you can bend that little metal head on top of the electrode by itself. So this is pretty close. I know it might be a little blurry right there, but it was pretty close. But I'd like to get a little bit closer. I think it was around 0.036. If you do have to open the gap, just slightly pull with your pliers, or if you have the other spark plug gapping tool, go ahead and open the gap just a slight bit. You don't want to overshoot it and then you have to bend it back down again. The best method I've seen to, if your gap is overshot, then just take it and sort of press it on the working area that you have, like this workbench here. Just press it on the workbench and just get it closer. Just don't press too hard. Obviously you don't want to damage the electrode. You can see it's basically exactly right on the 0.04 mark, so that's good enough. I didn't want to take the spark plug and jam it in there, and then you'd have a tough time getting it out, and then you'd actually crack the electrode piece. I went ahead and just checked the gap for the 3 remaining spark plugs. This is an i4 engine, so just to make sure that all these gaps are right around the same distance, I checked. And again, if it's not exactly on the 0.04 mark, it's okay, but if it's close, it'll still work. Just don't jam the spark plug on your gapper tool and then you damage the electrode itself. So here's the Honda engine block, and there's the 4 spark plug electrode caps. Go ahead and take those off. As you can see, it's a pretty long chamber. You're going to need an extension on your socket. The spark plug actually is a 5/8 inch socket. You can actually find that in your manual. So that's what my manual said, 5/8 inch, or if you have a 16mm socket, go ahead and use that. You got to be careful too not to strip the head of the spark plug, because you're gonna have a tough time getting your spark plug in and getting it to set if you unscrew it too hard, or when you screw it back in. I'll show you here in a bit. You can see quite a big difference on the electrode shape here on the comparison. If you want to, you don't have to, but I cleaned the spark plug cylinder head with some alcohol just to get some of the grime and stuff off. So the spark plug sets in the socket wrench, and it stays in there. You can turn it upside down. It's not going to fall out. Now here you have to be careful. I've seen other people just drop it straight in. I personally don't like that because it could change the plug gap if it hits at the wrong spot. And here's another trick. take the socket off and just tighten it by hand. This will help you not strip the spark plug and the cylinder head. If you do strip it, you're going to have some serious major repair issues on hand. So it's better just to be careful at first, instead of trying to just get the job done quick and you strip the head. So you can see here, I tighten it by hand. You see right there, it's basically tightened. Now here is where you go back to your manual and just double check, and again it's 13 pounds foot-pounds on your torque wrench. Here I'll be showing you how to use both the torque wrench and the regular socket wrench for those that don't have a torque wrench. So if you know how to use a torque wrench, just match the amount of foot-pounds on the torque wrench to the center line. Here we're already at 10, so here is 1, 2, and 3. Turn it over. Here's a close-up shot. Make sure the nut on the bottom of the torque wrench is completely turned and tightened. Here's a quick sound of what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like when you've actually hit your foot-pound mark. Pretty simple. Go ahead and put your cylinder head electrode cap back on, and there you go. That's how you install a spark plug. So here, real quick, I told you I'd show you how to do it with just a regular socket. Here I've already hand tightened it. Remember, it said 2/3 of a turn, so we're going to think of it as a clock. Here we're starting at about 2 o'clock. We turn it to about 6 o'clock. It's kind of difficult with just one hand. Here we turn it to about 6 o'clock. That's about 120 degrees. Over there we're going to end at around 10, 11 o'clock, which is about 270 degrees. And here we go. I move it just about to the end, but I don't actually move it to the end. I just want to double check with my torque wrench that I'm doing it right. And I check it at the 13 foot-pound mark, and it does click. So there you go. Now you know you can just turn it 2/3 turn, and you can do it without a torque wrench. So hopefully this video helped you out. I just wanted to show you the comparison between the regular socket and the torque wrench. So for the first spark plug, I showed you how to use the torque wrench. The second one, kind of skipped over that one because I used the torque wrench again. And the third one, I used the regular socket, and I double checked with the torque wrench just to make sure that the 2/3 turn worked, and it did. And here for the fourth one, I'm just speeding it up, finishing it out, and I used the 2/3 turn again, and it worked. And I double checked again with the torque wrench, and everything was good. I know the manual could have been a little bit confusing with the 2/3 turn. Hopefully my little explanation helped you guys out. Go ahead and share this video if you guys know anybody who owns a Honda Civic, and so they can know how to change their spark plugs. Should change them about every 30,000 miles. Just double check that the little electrode is contacting these plugs and that the spark plug obviously isn't stripped. Here I'm just going to show you guys that the old spark plugs, I don't know how old they were. This was a used car, 150,000 miles. They were at 0.05 inches. Just want to thank you guys again for watching. As always, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share it. Thank you.